Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world. Oh, there's Riley. Oh, thank God for dogs to cheer you up when there's such tragic news. So I'm going to light a candle straight away today for Liam Payne, who's died at the age of 31. And I think, you know, I think all ages, isn't it? We all sort of watched, or most of us, probably years ago. I mean, now I never watch X Factor or anything like that. I haven't watched it since they were nasty to James Arthur, who I really like, James Arthur. And I just think that, those sort of programs, they exploit people's mental health and everything. I think there's so much in that whole environment. I think one day some things might come out about the X Factor environment or the Britain's Got Talent environment. There's all sorts of horrible things go on, what people will do for fame, how it affects people's mental health, the way they used to be taught to as well, people auditioning. Now people are much more aware of mental health, aren't they? But, years ago, there were some horrible things said, weren't there? And, just some terrible things happened. And of course, Caroline Flack, she's another victim of celebrity culture type mental health issues, etc. Anyway, I'm lighting this candle for Liam because, and I just want to say to all his family, how awful they must feel, everybody who cares about him, everybody who loves him, and especially his son, Bear. He's only 7 years old. Now, I don't know what he's, for those of you who don't know, Liam at one time, he was married to Cheryl Tweedle, I think her name is now, but you may know her as Cheryl Cole. And she, of course, was a judge on the X Factor. For anybody who doesn't know, maybe people in other countries don't know, but I think the X Factor is pretty much universal, isn't it, all over the world. I think there's American X Factor and Australian and all different, there's certainly a Spanish one, so I expect most people know about the X Factor, the program. And that, of course, is where Liam, let's have a closer look at him. Liam was one of the people that auditioned at the age of 16, one of the young boys who auditioned for the X Factor and was turned down as a solo singer. But then Simon Cowell, in his wisdom, came up with the bright idea. And I say that, I'm not being facetious when I say that, because one thing Simon Cowell knows is how to make money. And one thing Simon Cowell knows is how to, which singers will appeal to the public and which ones won't. He's a clever guy as far as business is concerned. So Liam was one of a few other young boys who all auditioned separately originally to be solo singers, and then were turned down as solo singers. But then Simon put them together in a group and called it One Direction, didn't he? And that, well, they were just like, their fame, their success is massive fame and success. And we're going to look a bit at that journey. But, it's like John Lennon said, once you get there, you realize there is no there. In celebrity culture, people want to be famous, don't they? Especially young people, especially these days. I think, if you ask most young people, and in the heyday of X Factor, if you ask young people what they wanted to be when they grew up, it wouldn't be a train driver or a doctor or an engineer. It'd be, I want to be famous. I want to be a singer. I want to be an actor. I want to be on Celebrity Big Brother, or I want to, this celebrity culture that sort of grew, and X Factor was a product of that, wasn't it, really? Same as Love Island and all those awful programs. So Liam got famous with One Direction. We're going to have a look at a bit at his journey. But, his mental health issues, alcohol issues, drug issues. He's been in and out of rehab, as far as I know. Well, at least once he's been to rehab. His relationships never seemed to work out. And in his last Snapchat that he posted, he does look so very sad. I didn't realise he was so sad. I was always very surprised when he married Cheryl Cole, which will have been Cheryl Payne at one time when they were only married for 2 years, but they did have a son together. I was surprised because she's a lot older than him, of course, but very attractive older woman. But I think he perhaps fell in love with her during X Factor, and he was only 16 at the time. But what happened? What exactly happened in their relationship? I'm not sure. But now knowing that he's had these drug and alcohol issues, maybe that's why they split up. And now it turns out that he was effectively stalking his ex, even though he had a new girlfriend now. He was stalking his ex-girlfriend after Cheryl Tweedle, another girlfriend who's taken out a restraining order against him, so he can't contact her because he kept contacting her. So he's I didn't realise he had all these issues, but bless him. So he's had these mental health issues. I think money doesn't help mental health issues really, except means you can afford to go and get private help, if you like. You can check yourself into a clinic. You don't have to wait for the National Health to see to you, which you'll wait forever. That's the only way I suppose you could say it can help. But the lifestyle that they lead, and then you can afford the drugs and the alcohol, so and you can afford worse drugs and more alcohol, so you're not restricted by anything. So and maybe you need the drugs and the alcohol so that you can go on stage every night, or cope with the fame and the pressure. He said it was crushing loneliness, which surprised me again, because you think with being in a band with the other lads, at least they all had each other. But of course eventually they split up and they all went their separate ways, so maybe that's what he meant. But just so very sad, isn't it? Anyway, let me say hello to everybody before I start on Liam's journey. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Heather. Well, that is. I think it's just the two of you, but there's more people watching at home. So, hello to Heather and Kelly who are joining in the chat, but also hello to everybody who's at home watching. Not everybody wants to join in the chat. I know that. I want to say hello to replay crew as well, because I wasn't expecting obviously to be doing this video today. I was going to do a video, and I will still be doing, but it'll be tonight now. I've got updates on the Amanda Overstreet case, and I will be doing that tonight. Now that'll probably be alive tonight. So when I heard this news about Liam, I had to come on and say something, because I'm not a One Direction fan, though I did like some of their songs, but I do remember so clearly. I think whatever age you are, there's a lot of different ages will connect because of this X Factor connection. And I, when X Factor was on in the winter, I would often go round to my friend's house, and we would, we'd have a nice meal, and we'd get some snacks, sit and have a drink and watch X Factor, maybe a few of us, and the kids would be on the PlayStations, and doing their thing. Or sometimes they would, if there was a singer or a band that they normally like, the younger ones, and it was like an institution for a while on a Saturday night. As I say, this is a long time ago. I stopped watching it after. The notification was for tomorrow morning. I'm always putting the wrong time on it. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Honestly, I forget to put the AM or PM. Do you know what? I just cannot do numbers. I say this and people probably think but I really can't. I made this cock up many, many times. I have to really concentrate on my schedule for classes, because I can get my classes wrong as well. you know, the times of them. Let me see. I don't know if I can change it now because I've started it. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think because I've started it now, people today. Oh no, I've put I put PM instead of, no, it is 11:30 PM. Today, it says today. No, it's right. Today at 11:30 PM. Oh no, it should be AM. AM. Gosh. There you go. Anyway, never mind. Hi, Lorna. Sorry, and I always get the times wrong. But anyway, hopefully people will, you know, the numbers are increasing. People will get notifications, hopefully, that I'm live. In fact, I'm going to just, I don't think I've put it on. I'm going to just put out a notification. If I put a notification on Twitter, because, yeah, people won't have realised, but I get these numbers right one time. One day I will get some numbers right. Just ridiculous, isn't it? I'm going to put it on Twitter, and then I'm going to, or Twatter, as a lot of people call it, and then I'm going to put it on my on the community post. So if people haven't actually got a notification, they might see it. You really, I need an assistant. I need a fact checker who will, what's the word? Who will check that I've put the right times on these things. Now I'm struggling to get the link. Right, sorry, I won't be a sec. Then I was late coming on as well. I wondered why nobody was waiting, because normally I have a few waiting. Nearly done. Oh, when I look at his little face, I just, you know, because he's 31, you know, he's so young even now. So he's 16 when he started off on his, oh, you never know, BF, you never know. Hi, Jewel Cat. So she never married Liam. Okay, I didn't realise they didn't get married. So let's start again. Not completely from the beginning, but so yeah. That means it was 15 years ago. So 50. So yeah, I'm not very good at adding up. So if he was 16 when he first went on XFactor, he was 31 when he died. So that is 15, isn't it? So I can't believe that was 15 years ago that I would go around to my friends and we'd be sat watching One Direction, you know, on the XFactor, etc. I just can't believe it was all that length of time ago. Incredible, you know, how time just disappears, doesn't it, really? So where are we going to start with this? So now it's not clear exactly what happened to Liam, but it seems to be emerging that Liam had been drinking too much or taking drugs. That's how he was described, as high on either drugs or alcohol, probably a combination of both. And he'd locked himself in his hotel room, and he was destroying the hotel room. And so the hotel owner, and this is in Argentina, so he'd gone to Argentina to watch one of his bandmates, Niall, the Irish lad. He was playing in concert in Argentina, and Liam had gone to watch the concert, and he had been with his girlfriend. On the very day that it happened, which I believe it was Wednesday, he released the Snapchat, but that Snapchat, we're going to look at that in a minute, that's not thought to have been done that day because his girlfriend had already returned home. So he was actually on his own when this happened. So there was big ruckus, and we're going to listen to the 999 call or 911 call or whatever they have in Argentina, and try and sort of put it all together. So let's start by watching this Sky News presentation. Let's see. Oh, come on, I had it already. So it's that one. Right, sorry, I'm just looking for the story that I had ready. Here it is.
That's right.
Oh, it's gone back.
Liam Payne, who's died at the age of 31, who was found dead after falling from a third-floor balcony at a hotel in Argentina, where he was staying after watching his old bandmate, Niall Horan, perform in concert. Police in Buenos Aires say the circumstances surrounding his death remain unclear, but they had been called in response to a man reportedly under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Well, Liam Payne had posted online hours before his death. This was his final Snapchat story in full.
Morning, everybody. Here's a little video of me. It's rude to put hats on the table.
Sorry.
Is this your hat?
Yeah.
Children.
So it doesn't seem very happy, does he, to be honest? You know, he's got a lot of sadness in his eyes, this boy.
It's a lovely day here in Argentina. This is the breakfast table.
I'm just eating an orange.
Just enjoying coffee and breakfast, even though it's like 1 p.m.
Literally, we sleep in every day until at least 12. We're such losers.
No.
No.
We're going to ride some horses. I think I'm going to be playing polo again, which is going to put me out of action for about 6 weeks. Honestly, polo, out of everything I've ever done sports-wise, not that I'm like taking up polo professionally, by the way, I'm just like, I had to go for some fun. It's so hard to do, number one. Number two, my back and my neck from swinging that hammer around, or mallet, I think it's called if you're in the know, polo language. Yeah, it hurts a lot. It's very tough to do. But we're enjoying ourselves here at our lovely friend Gon's house. Shout out Gon, wherever Gon is.
Shout out Gon.
Shout out Gon, big bad Gon.
Perform in a concert. Police in Buenos Aires say the circumstances surrounding his death remain unclear, but they had been called in response to a man reportedly under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Our first report comes from Martha Kellner.
You and me got a whole lot of history.
They grieved to the lyrics of One Direction.
We can live forever.
We can live forever, they sing.
History. We can be the greatest team.
This is where it ended for Liam Payne, plummeting from a third-floor balcony into the courtyard of this hotel. Earlier in the day, he'd posted this Snapchat video.
Morning, everybody. Here's a little video of me. It's rude to put hats on the table.
Sorry.
Is this your hat?
Yeah.
Children. It's a lovely day here in Argentina. This is the breakfast table.
I'm just eating an orange.
Just enjoying coffee and breakfast, even though it's like 1 p.m. We're enjoying ourselves here at our lovely friend Gon's house. Shout out Gon, wherever Gon is.
Shout out Gon.
Shout out Gon, big bad Gon. Yeah, so it's going to be a nice day.
Hours later, his body was being taken to a mortuary. An autopsy will confirm the cause of death. His fans in disbelief.
I'm completely broken. All of this is a part of my childhood. I grew up with his music.
I've been listening to One Direction since I was 11 years old. I never got to see them live, and then they separated. They never got round to doing the reunion, and now it won't be able to happen anymore.
Al menos simbólico, pero ya no va a poder pasar.
You're insecure, don't know what for.
Payne was only 31, but he'd been famous for half his life. First auditioning for the XFactor aged 14.
A million love songs later, I've made a decision. It's bad news.
Before One Direction was formed 2 years later.
This is how I feel. Cold and I am chained. I'm lying naked on the floor.
5 teenagers who became the most successful boy band of a generation. Payne's personal life was high profile too, sharing a son with former girlfriend Cheryl Tweedy, 7-year-old Bear, now without a father.
He's made no secret about the demons that he's struggled with. He's been particularly open about his mental health challenges, his issues with drugs and alcohol. I mean, he was 16 when he first auditioned for the X Factor, passed away at 31. He spent half of his life in the public eye under immense amounts of scrutiny.
Payne had been in Argentina for some time, watching a concert of One Direction bandmate Niall Horan and spending time with his girlfriend. Payne had previously been to rehab for alcohol and drug addiction and was outspoken about struggling to cope with fame.
There's times where that level of loneliness and people getting into you every day, like I say, it just every so often you're like, when will they send?
His personal life plagued.
Yeah, it's not all it's cracked up to be, is it? Fame. Well, it depends. Some people seem to be able to cope with it, don't they? And other people don't. You know, I suppose it all depends on personalities. You know, some people can roll with it, you know, accept the bad things and just take the good things. Other people just cannot cope at all. And I hadn't realised that Liam was like that.
By problems. Former fiancée Maya Henry took recent legal action to stop Payne contacting her friends and family. But by fans, he was loved. Tributes on the street where he died for a pop star, adored across the globe. Martha Kellner, Sky News.
Now, a recording of the 911 emergency call made by the hotel ahead of the star's death.
Yeah, so we're going to listen to the 911 call now. Though they have translated it on here, so you don't really hear the Spanish. I've heard the Spanish one, and it is an accurate translation, more or less. Now, Argentinian Spanish, they do speak Spanish in Argentina. They've got quite a strong accent. It's more like a Portuguese accent. It's funny, old accent. But yeah, more or less what they're saying is correct.
Has been released this morning.
Good morning. I'm calling from Hotel CasaSur Palermo, Costa Rica 6032.
What is happening, sir?
We have a guest drunk on drugs and alcohol. When he's conscious, he's breaking everything in the room.
You said alcohol and drugs.
That's correct.
You said Costa Rica intersecting where?
Costa Rica 6032.
Repeat.
Costa Rica 6032.
How is the hotel called?
CasaSur Palermo. We need to send someone with urgency because I don't know if the guest's life is in danger because he's in a room with a balcony and we were afraid he could do something that threatens his life.
So the guy from the hotel specifically says you need to send someone urgently because there's a guest who's high on drugs and alcohol or alcohol. And when he's conscious, he's destroying the hotel room. And he's in a room, he's locked himself in the room, he's in a room with a balcony, and we're not sure if his life is in danger. So they did worry that his life, you know, maybe he was shouting things through the door. I don't know. I doubt. Well, I doubt maybe he does speak Spanish or they speak English. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe he was threatening to throw himself off the balcony, but he was obviously high as a kite. And the guy does sound really concerned, and he's saying, you know, you must send an ambulance. He didn't seem to want the police there. They might talk about the police, and he was a bit saying, just send an ambulance, send an ambulance. SAMU, I think it's called, the ambulance.
How long has he been there? Is it a long stay hotel?
The guest has been there for the past 3 days.
You don't any other information because you can't get in, right?
No.
We are also notifying Medical Emergency Attention Service.
We are asking you to send someone with urgency because...
We are doing that. Any other data to give me? Who are you?
I'm the desk manager.
Person in charge of the place?
Yes.
It has been notified. What is your name, sir?
Esteban.
Thanks for calling. Be online.
Are you sending police too?
Please from the delegation, let me confirm.
No, only medical emergency attention service.
Don't worry, because they have already been notified.
Because as you said,
Yes, he said don't know about the police. Didn't want the police there, just wants the medical attention.
he's under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Medical emergency attention service personnel can't enter alone.
You can ask that to the police, but if medical emergency attention service needs them, they will notify you.
Good. Okay, perfect.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Well, just over an hour ago, we saw a forensics team leave the hotel in Buenos Aires where Liam Payne had been staying as the investigation into his death continues. Meanwhile, many celebrities who knew Liam Payne have been paying tributes to the singer. Former XFactor presenter Dermot O'Leary spoke on ITV's This Morning programme just a little earlier and described how he felt when he heard that Liam Payne had died.
Obviously very sad, and your hearts go out to his family, because when you do X Factor, you get to know the families sort of so well in such a short period of time. And his mum and dad were just adorable. They were very kind of proprietorial over him. They were never pushy. This was very much his dream. He just loved to sing. I thought of his family, and I thought of his son, and then I thought of his parents. I mean, no parent should have to bury their son or their daughter. So, obviously our thoughts and our prayers and our candles are half lit for his family. I mean, that goes without saying.
Candles are half lit. Yeah, the family, oh my God, just can't imagine. This comes back to what we've talked about many times about children in general when they become adults and you lose your control over them. And there he is. He can't say to him, "Oh, you can't go to Argentina," and don't rent a room with a balcony. But that would always go through my head because most young people go through anxiety, depression at some point in their life, don't they? And then you hope that as they come through their teens, if they manage to get through their teens and their early 20s without doing anything to themselves, you hope then that they may settle down somehow and, get over those thoughts, especially when they've got children of their own. You hope that might stop them or whatever, but it doesn't, because thoughts of self-deletion, which I'm not saying that's what he's done, but it appears that way, doesn't it? Either accidentally he's fallen off that balcony or he's thrown himself off that balcony. They go throughout people's lives, and people always have those. Once someone's had those thoughts, they're always in people's thoughts. I think all of us have those thoughts from time to time because life gets tough, doesn't it? Life gets tough for various reasons. Sometimes it gets tough even though there's not really anything that you should be worrying about, and you just don't know why you're not, why you can't get enthusiastic about life. Sometimes it's for a reason. It could be a bereavement, it could be a financial reason, it could be a relationship reason, you could lose a pet, you could lose your job, you could have an illness, a physical illness or a mental illness. But sometimes people get depressed and there is no reason for it. That must be the worst kind in a way, because you can't even fix it on the reason I'm depressed is because I've just lost my dog, or the reason I'm depressed is because my mum died. When you can't fix it on anything like that, it's a depression. Whatever you do, you can't get yourself out of it. That's the hardest, I think, because if there's no particular reason why you feel in a certain way, how can you fix it? And someone I know very well who suffered terribly from depression at the moment is okay, so touch wood for that, but said to me, it's like trying to light a damp match, because you're trying to light it, trying to get yourself going, do things, animate yourself, go to the gym, or go for a walk, or go, all these advice that people give you. But it's like the match is damp, and you're trying to strike it, but it's never going to strike because it's damp. It's like a damp squib. So, you know, it's a horror. Depression is a horrible thing, and it does kill, and it kills probably more than anything else. You know, if the true extent of how depression can kill, because depression can kill the person themselves, obviously, if they take their own lives, but it can kill others. Because, and I heard a policeman once say to me, if someone's suicidal, they're homicidal as well. So, you know, like quite often these people that go out and do mass shootings or mass, you know, stabbings like in Southport or wherever, they're having thoughts of suicidal ideation, and they want to go out in a bang. You know, that's some people who want to leave this world just do it quietly, you know, don't take anybody else with them. But other people don't. They go out and they're taking a load of kids with them, or a load of people enjoying themselves at the cinema, decide to take everybody with them. Maybe they want to be shot by a policeman because they haven't got the guts, you know, to do it themselves. So it's a very complex, and I think probably depression, one way or another, kills more people than like cancer or other illnesses, because it's a very quiet killer. You know, you cannot see. You know, if somebody has cancer, they'll get physical symptoms, they'll go to the doctor, they'll get treatment, and it'll be awful, but at least everybody will sympathize with them because of what they're going through. Someone has a mental illness, they often display traits, you know, that aren't very nice. You know, they talk to people in a bad way, or they do bad things. And so people don't feel the same sympathy for them. Also because they don't understand it, or also because they're scared of it, because it is scary when you're dealing with somebody with a mental illness. It's terrifying because you don't know if you're even safe, you know, because they might get psychosis or whatever. So it's a terrible thing. It's you know, I think there's got to be a lot more priority put on mental illness.
Dermot O'Leary, of course, who was the presenter of X Factor, where Liam Payne first found fame and success. Let's take a look at some of the other tributes that have been paid. Well, the X Factor's official account posted on X, "We're heartbroken by the sad passing of Liam Payne. He was immensely talented, and as part of One Direction, Liam will leave a lasting legacy on the music industry and fans around the world. Our thoughts are with his friends, family, and all who loved him." Anne Twist, the mother of Liam's bandmate Harry Styles, shared the words "just a boy" on her Instagram following the news. Of course, Liam Payne was just 31. Meanwhile, Liam Gallagher wrote on X, "Life is precious, kids, and you only get to do it once. Go easy." LG with a kiss. He was asked.
Yeah, I saw Liam, because I follow Liam Gallagher. I really like Liam Gallagher. I know he goes off on one sometimes and his language is terrible, but I think he's like actually a really nice guy. And he's just, a lot of it is his bravado and his swagger, like, you know, first. But really, basically, I think he's nice. Now, yeah, anyone who's gone through the music industry, it's just same as the TV industry, all those type of things. They're run on, you know, SEX. Whether you're on the casting couch in Hollywood, or whether you're in the music industry, or whether you television, whatever, we've seen it. There's so many predators in those industries. Now, I'm not saying that happened to Liam. We don't know what happened to Liam, but boy bands, you know, I'm sorry that when I look back at the X Factor, there's so much sort of icky innuendos going on there about, you know, young boys and this, that, and the other. It just would not surprise me. I have my own ideas about who might be a predator, who has never been suspected yet of being a predator, who probably is. You know, but what can you do? You can't go around accusing people. But yeah, these young boy bands or girl bands, they'll all have experienced some sort of people coming on to them or whatever, you know. Unfortunately, SEX and money, that's what, you know, turns those industries round, isn't it? You know, look at Justin Bieber. I mean, I haven't even done anything about that Diddy person yet. I haven't got around to it. I don't really like doing those kind of cases, but look at Justin Bieber. You know what it seems that probably happened, but of course, you know, I can't even talk about it because one, I haven't researched it enough. So I don't know the full details. I only know what I've seen on social media. I haven't gone into that case in any depth. But it'll be all over the place. You know, it just will be, because that is the way of the world, unfortunately. When people get into power, these predators, they get power over people, young people, whatever their thing is, you know. So if there's young people who want to be famous, people will do things for fame. They will. You know, it's not, you know, maybe sometimes they go voluntarily into it, but it's still predatory behavior, because especially if they're underage, you know. But it'll be rife, be absolutely rife in all these situations. Now I'm hoping that things will come out, and like people like Brian Harvey, like somebody was talking about there. Again, I don't know the full details of all that. I know a little bit about it. But he was in a boy band, wasn't he? He was in E17. You just know. I remember David Cassidy. I mean, this is how far it goes back. You know, it wasn't a boy band, but David Cassidy, who was like my little heartthrob when I was a girl. When I was a girl, it was either Donny Osmond or David Cassidy. Everybody liked one or the other. And Michael Jackson was probably the first black teen sort of heartthrob, if you like. So, you know, we all liked, you know, I liked Donny Osmond a little bit, but there was always this big thing. It was either, you know, I remember arguing with my best friend, you know, about who was better, Donny Osmond or David Cassidy. But, you know, when I've read about what his life was like when he got famous and the way he was exploited, and just how, and he's another one, you know. His dad died of alcoholism. His dad, Jack Cassidy, was a famous actor. He was in Columbo quite a lot. He set himself on fire, not deliberately, fell asleep with a cigarette, and the place he was sleeping set on fire. He died because of alcohol. David Cassidy was an alcoholic. He died young. You know, this is the stress and strain, you know, these people are under. And if they manage to come through it somehow and, you know, make, look at the Beatles. The Beatles are another prime example, aren't they? They went through all this trying to find themselves. So even if it's not predators, you know, the actual people, he's having a good scratch there. Even if they're not being predatory in the sense that they're abusing these young stars, but it's the pressure, isn't it? And trying to find, you know, because you think that when you get famous and you get lots of money, your life's going to be easy, your head's going to be clear, you know, and it's not. You're still the same person. You might have more money and it might be a nicer lifestyle, but you've still got the same mental health issues. And maybe worse, because now you're taking drugs, you're moving in circles. People are sometimes giving you drugs, you know, like Michael Jackson to keep him going, like Matthew Perry. You know, you're in an environment full of leeches and hangers-on and people that want you to be addicted to drugs because they want to be in control of your life. It's horrible, really, when you think about it. And then the same for women, you know, how many women, the casting couch, all this with Harvey Epstein, and, you know, that's gone on for years. It's gone, you know, it's not, it wasn't only Harvey Epstein, was it? It'll have gone on for years and years and years. Kirk Douglas was a known predator. Of course, he escaped without any justice in this world because he's gone on to the next world now. They think he even murdered somebody. You know, it's thought a possibility that he actually even murdered someone. Robert Wagner and his wife, a domestic abuser to Natalie Wood. Just goes on and on and on. So, you know, the trouble is that power, what is it? Power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. So I expect even if Liam wasn't a victim of any of the predators, he'll have seen predators. Who was the other guy as well? All these boy bands. The poor guy Stephen, was it, who died? Died in. They were on holiday, weren't they? Him and his husband, and they brought another man back to the house. And then he was left on the sofa, and the man and the guy they brought back to the house went off into the bedroom. And in the morning, Stephen was dead, and no one really knows what happened there. Seems that his partner may have been abusing him domestically, but, you know, we just don't know. So just because someone's famous and doing well and, you know, having what seems to us a fantastic lifestyle does not mean that they're happy, does it?
A follow-up question by a fan, to which he said it was very sad. News. McFly have paid their respects, saying, "We're shocked and extremely sad to wake up to the news of Liam Payne's death. Our thoughts."
McFly, you know, I can't say things that I can't substantiate.
And love are with his family and friends at such a difficult time. And the singing duo Jedward wrote, "R.I.P. Liam Payne, condolences to friends and family, sending strength."
Jedward, well, look, remember them when they were on X Factor? Louis Walsh was all over him, dressing him in school uniforms and everything. You know, this is, and it was like a standing joke with Simon Cowell. The joke about it, they talk about predatory in full view, like Jimmy Savile. You know, like these people, they do these things to make jokes. But I remember thinking loads of times, that's why I ended up stopping watching it. All these jokes that they're making about young boys and this, that, and the other. And then you start to think, well, that's not even funny, you know, and just makes you wonder. They're making jokes about things. And of course, Stephen Gately, it was Louis Walsh who found that boy band as well, didn't he? That was an Irish band, wasn't it? He was in. You know, there's so many tragedies with these. Just honestly, nothing would surprise me that comes out about any of those sort of programs and what's going on behind the scenes. Sharon Osbourne, she was talking about it once when she got kicked off X Factor. She made a lot of comments about things that were going on behind the scenes and this, that, and the other, and then. Because she got put back on it and she stopped saying all that then. I wish people would come out and blow whistles properly. You know, if these things are going on, don't wait till these people die. You know, what's going to happen? Someone's going to die who was on X Factor, and then it'll be like, oh, yeah, we always knew they were a predator. You know, like Hugh Edwards, though he's not died yet. That's why at least I am grateful to the Sun for exposing his story, not waiting until he died before his story was exposed, like Jimmy Savile. I bet there's loads of well-known paedophiles out there in the music business, in the television industry. There'll be loads more. And it'll come out eventually. These things will come out eventually. It might be after my lifetime. There's lots of things I've said to my son. You mark my words. If I'm dead and that comes out about this person, like people I think are a bit suspicious, you mark my words, you remember, you'll say, oh, my mum always said that about him.
Thanks to Cheryl and his son Bear and all the One Direction family. Well, let's just take a more detailed look at Liam Payne's career. He first auditioned for the X Factor as a 14-year-old in 2008, singing "Fly Me to the Moon" by Frank Sinatra. He made it to Judges' Houses stage that year, but Simon Cowell advised him to return in 2 years' time. He did just that, auditioning again in 2010, when he was placed into the boy band with Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, Louis Tomlinson, and Niall Horan.
Now, out of all those, of course, at the time, Zayn, I love Zayn. I love his voice. He's my favourite voice out of One Direction, because he went solo, didn't he? But he had a lot of anxiety problems. I remember that there were times when they weren't even sure if Zayn would be able to come out and sing, you know, because it was a bit like James Arthur, who used to have panic attacks just before they appeared and that. But So I knew he had like panic attacks. Now Harry Styles, of course, he's become this. He reminds me of Mick Jagger. Harry Styles. It's like he's become this larger than life character. He's got his fantastic solo career, etc. You know, so I honestly did not know that Liam had these issues.
Forming, of course, One Direction. The following year, the group's biggest hit, What Makes You Beautiful, sold more than 150,000 copies in its first week. And years of success with 1D followed. The group said they were taking a break, though, from 2016, and Liam signed a solo record deal. He then released his first single, Strip That Down, written by Ed Sheeran, following later that year. And Liam also began dating former XFactor judge Cheryl Cole in 2016. Their son Bear was born in 2017, but a year later they revealed they were no longer a couple. Well, earlier this month, Liam attended former bandmate Niall Horan's concert in Buenos Aires in Argentina. And on Monday this week, it was reported that one of Liam Payne's ex-girlfriends, Maya Henry, was taking legal action against the singer, claiming he'd been obsessively contacting her.
Yeah, so it seems like he's been stalking his ex-girlfriend. Thank you, old bud, for the membership. Does anybody know why Cheryl and Liam split up? So we weren't together very long, with it, not even 2 years, I don't think, actually together. So does anybody know? If you know, let me know.
And her family. Yesterday, just hours before his death, Liam Payne was sharing pictures and videos from his trip to Argentina with girlfriend Kate Cassidy. On Snapchat, he captioned a video, "Lovely day in Argentina," and posted a selfie with his girlfriend captioned, "Quality time." Well, earlier I spoke to the journalist James Gatkin.
So all the time that is with Kate Cassidy, she's not a relative of David Cassidy, is she? Let's just see. Who is she? So this is his current girlfriend, Kate Cassidy. She's an influencer, apparently. She's an Instagram influencer. I've never heard of her before, to be fair. So all the time he's with her, he's trying to contact his ex-girlfriend because he can't, you know, it sounds like he was a bit obsessed with his ex-girlfriend. Oh my God. What? Can't be. Can't be. No, she can't be his child. Surely not. I was only... No, God, it's another. David Cassidy has got a daughter called Kate. So when I clicked that in, then it was coming up that she was David Cassidy's daughter, but it's not. No, she is another Kate Cassidy, who's a bit older than her, about 10 years older than her. But gosh, so I've forgotten what I was saying now. So yeah, she won't be very happy, will she, that he was contacting his ex-girlfriend.
Madison, who gave us this update from Buenos Aires.
It was around 6 p.m. when media outlets in Argentina shared one of the releases from the security minister here in Buenos Aires, confirming the death of Liam Payne after he fell after he fell from the balcony in his hotel. The description also from the emergency call that you already showed to the audience on Sky, and saying that there was an erratic man in the lobby of the hotel, probably under the effects of drugs and alcohol. The hotel staff helped him to return to his room when he precipitated himself outside the room from the balcony, and he fall from the third floor. And this immediately caught the attention of everyone, because the hotel CasaSur, it is in the trendy neighborhood of Palermo. It's like a Soho, London, very crowded, and hundreds of fans show up outside the hotel, also media, local media, international media, because we knew that Liam Payne was here in Buenos Aires since October 2nd, when he attended to Niall Horan concert, former also member of One Direction. We saw him very friendly, chatting with fans, interacting with fans in the arena. He was posting the pictures with Niall as well. And then we saw him in another hotel in the more wealthy area of Buenos Aires, Recoleta, at the Park Hyatt. He also was willing to take a picture with fans, but then he disappeared from the public eye. And now we knew that he moved to this other hotel. It's a boutique hotel, much smaller, but he was there for a few days already. And his girlfriend, who was with him at the beginning of this personal trip, already left early this week. So it was a news that took by surprise everyone here in Argentina and also the world.
James, when the news initially broke, when he, I guess, initially fell, were there hotel guests or passers-by that immediately witnessed that, or was this at some back street or in a courtyard or what?
Exactly. He fell to the patio, the courtyard of the hotel, so there was nothing you could actually see from outside, or until the police actually arrived at the hotel. The big question is now, and what media is asking now, why the police didn't make it on time, and that is part of the investigation. So I was last night at the hotel, where the ambulance came in to take Liam's body to take for autopsy, and there were hundreds of fans that were lighting candles, they were singing songs, they were devastated by the news.
Well, earlier we also heard from CC Sammy Lightfoot, a former vocal coach for One Direction, who told us about her time working with Liam and the rest of the band.
The biggest thing I would like to say to everyone out there is that, you know...
Okay, I'm going to stop showing that. I'm going to look at some other things. Now, this is interesting. So somebody from... Let's have a look at this. What's that? So, GB News. It is GB News, so I just need to warn you of that. But, you know, sometimes they have some interesting things on. Let's see, where is it? So Liam Payne's X-Factor co-star warns, we all know the truth. Oh, you're not having my support, GB News, I'm afraid. No. Oh, for God's sake, what? They're not going to let me read this unless I actually pay money. Sorry, not doing that. Not doing that. God, I'm not giving GB News any money, that's for sure. So I can't read that article unless if they put it behind a paywall. So Liam Payne's X-Factor co-star warns we all know the truth in cryptic statement after dear friend's death. Katie Wiesel made it to the finals of the X-Factor alongside One Direction in 2010, and a fellow X-Factor finalist has issued a stern warning to music mogul Simon Cowell following the death of One Direction star Liam Payne. Well, let's see what she's got to say. My heart is completely torn to shreds right now. I am at an absolute loss for words. If Simon Cowell dare put a statement out on the heart-wrenching, tragic loss of my dear and darling friend Liam, he would be a fool. We all know the truth, and I'll be sure it all comes out. I think Simon Cowell is as dodgy as anything, to be honest. But we'll see. Justice for Liam. So what's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean, I wonder? Again, Katie, you've got to come out with it. You can't just put these little... Now, I'm sure when they do X Factor, they probably have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, don't they? Because I bet there's all sorts of things go on that people get to know about. Now, this is interesting, isn't it, what she's saying? In fact, I'm going to screenshot that, because these sort of things can disappear, can't they? You know, sometimes tweets disappear. Jumba, I've said for years about Simon Cowell, and my friends, honest to God, they... When we... Stop it, dear. The chihuahua's out. When we used to sit and watch X Factor, and I used to say, do you know what, there's something about Simon. And they'd, oh, no, you know, honest to God, I got, like, reviled by everyone for saying it. But anyway, I would never be surprised if anything ever comes out about Simon, put it that way. And also another thing that, because he's got a twin brother, you know, and his twin brother, wasn't he at the party where Simon Lubbock died at Michael Barrymore's house? They're all intertwined in, you all know each other, all these, you know, it just the more you look into it, the scarier it gets. So this tweet is by Katie Weisel, and she was in the X Factor that year. I can't really remember her, to be honest. So let's just read it again. My heart is completely torn to shreds right now. I'm at an absolute loss for words. If Simon Cowell dare put a statement out on the heart-wrenching tragic loss of my dear and darling friend Liam, he would be a fool. We all know the truth, and I'll be sure it all comes out. I'm going to have a look for Simon Cowell in a minute on Twitter. Let's have a look, see if Simon Cowell has said anything yet. I do. I think him and Louis, they were always making jokes about young boys. Yeah. Let's not forget, this is another person saying Simon Cowell is one of the reasons that Liam had so many problems related to drugs and alcohol. This man disgusts me. And this is Liam talking in 2000. Oh, I need to share it, of course. This is Liam talking in 2021. Bless him. Let's hear him.
Is there a moment where you look back and say that was the lowest moment for me? That was the pivotal moment.
I had a few of them. I was worried how far my rock bottom was going to be. Where's rock bottom for me? And you would never have seen it. I'm very good at hiding it. No one would have ever have seen it. But rock bottom, I mean, I don't even know if I hit it yet. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like one of those little graphs you see when it's like, oh, if we hit the you know, like the support, the market support, yeah, we there. This is support level. Oh my God, you know, it's the same thing. So it feels like I can either make that choice now and pick my last moment as my rock at the bottom, or I can make a new one and make a whole new low. That's my choice.
Is there a moment where you look back and say that was the lowest moment for me? That was the pivotal moment.
I had a few of them. I was worried how far my rock bottom was going to be. Where's rock bottom for me? And you would never have seen it. I'm very good at hiding it. No one would have ever have seen it. But rock bottom, I mean, I don't even know if I hit it yet. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like one of those little graphs you see when it's like, oh, if we hit the you know, like the support, the market support, yeah, we there. This is support level. Oh my God, you know.
So sad, isn't it? I mean, he looks like, you know, he's got this honesty coming out of him. He looks very sad, actually. His eyes look sad. But he's got a sort of a down-to-earthness about him as well, hasn't he? So, yeah, watch this space. Do you think things are going to come out about Simon Cowell? Sometimes these things, they can be seismic. Well, Simon Cowell will be off talking to his lawyers and what have you. So, obviously, something's happened. You you know, people don't make comments about that for nothing, like that for nothing. I don't think there's no reason for her to come out and say that about Simon Cowell, because she knows she's risking, you know, it's dangerous taking a man like Simon Cowell on, you know, because he's got a lot more money than she has, I expect. And, you know, so she's got to be careful what she says, because she could get sued, or, you know, I bet he's running around with his legal team right now just in case that if there is something to come out, if there is, I don't know that there is, but if there is anything to come out, Simon Cowell will be running around like mad with his legal team now, trying to sort it all out. So there's definitely something funny. Yeah, David, I do. I've always thought it. And I've been laughed at for, I've been saying it for 20 years. You know, ever since like watching X Factor, you know, just 100%. Look at the way David Williams was with him. You know, there's all these in jokes that they make, and they're sort of jokes, but they're not really. You know, they're like, yeah, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong if he does. I mean, if he does swing both ways, I don't care if he swings both ways as long as he keeps it legal, you know, and it doesn't matter, does it? But of course, his image, wasn't it, years ago, especially, perhaps not as much now because, you know, things are different now. But his image years ago when the program started, like X Factor and that, he was like, you know, the one all the women fancied, you know, and they thought he was sort of nasty, and he always stayed a bachelor, didn't he, for a long time. You know, it was like a man around town. He liked Sunita, going out with Sunita, you know, all these sort of different things. But I just always felt with him, just the way he talked to. And the other thing, I'll probably get taken off air now, but he used to call Louis Walsh, he used to call him Lulu. Now, I don't know if you know, but in those sort of circles, like Freddie Mercury, I remember sort of reading about his lifestyle and that, because, you know, Freddie Mercury did have a hedonistic lifestyle. And there were lots of ORGYs and things like that. But they all used to call each other by feminine names. Like, you know, I suppose if Freddie might have been called Frederica, you know, they would turn people's names into feminine names. And Simon Cowell always called Louis Lulu. And it just stuck with me. I just thought, you know, I don't think he was pushed, Chumba, because he was in there on his own, from what we can gather. So I don't think he was pushed. What? Hi, Tracy. Cliff has a female name. Well, Cliff, I think a lot's going to come out about Cliff Richards when he dies, because people don't want to talk about him. Hi, Moonbeam. I think, hi, Renee. I don't know if I said hello to you. So, yeah, well, one day it will all come out. And as I say, I always say to my son, I might not be here to see it, but believe me, there's a few, there's not only him. And as I say, I don't care what he is. I don't like it when people pretend to be something they're not. That's what I don't like. You know, like Hugh Edwards saying it's like mental illness that made him, you know, ask for photos of young boys, not the fact that it was bisexual, you know. That's what I don't like. I don't like hypocrisy. You know, if you are gay, bisexual, whatever you are, I don't care. You know, I like people. If I like someone, I like them. Don't matter what they are, their sexuality, their religion, their colour, nothing matters to me. I either like someone or I don't. I get a good feeling off them or I get a bad feeling off them. And Simon Cowell has always given me that icky feeling, not because he's bisexual, but because there's something about him and young boys with Lulu, him and Lulu, and David Williams, you know, another one. But he's openly bisexual, isn't he? At least he's openly bisexual. And there's all these jokes about him being in love with Simon and that. But, you know, none of it would surprise me. And then Simon eventually, of course, he had a child and he's got his son Eric now. But you know, is that just because he thought if he doesn't have a child, he'll have no one to leave his millions to? You know, when they marry, doesn't just because someone gets married doesn't mean to say that they're straight, does it? Look at Hugh Edwards again. You know, quite often people do things like that. I'll tell you another one that I'm not sure of, and there'll be some of you out there I know that will probably go, what? But it's George Clooney. George Clooney. He's another one that I'm not sure of. You know, that I feel that there's something about George Clooney as well. But anyway, who knows? Who knows? You know, so it started with Rock Hudson, didn't it? Remember Rock Hudson? Or you may have heard of him. You know, he was a famous heartthrob actor. He could never come out to be gay because his career was built on the fact he was a heartthrob. And then, of course, it all came out that it was gay. And also, I think something that people forget, even Freddie Mercury, it was only the night before he died that he announced he was gay. Up till then, we didn't know he was gay. He'd never been spoken about being gay before. Now, of course, everybody knows and talks openly about Freddie Mercury being gay, but it was a different time then. And it was the night before he died. I remember it as clear as anything on the news that he announced that he came out, and he died the next day because, of course, he had AIDS, bless him. But that was a different time then, wasn't it? You know, it was a different time. Nowadays, I think young people can be openly gay or whatever they want to be. That's something young people of this day and age have got that people of maybe Simon Cowell's age group, Freddie Mercury's age group, they didn't have that luxury to be openly what they were. So, hi Matthew. Yes, so very sad, especially for his son. So whatever happened, whatever the circumstances end up, there'll be an inquest, of course. And it'll be a question of, you know, he was, did he fall? Was it an accident? Or did he deliberately mean to take his life? Had he had enough? You know, so from things that we can see that he was not happy, was he? Oh, this, now, I don't know. Oh my God. I don't know if they, so somebody's released pictures of Liam Payne's hotel room. Who's that? Don't know who that is. These are supposed to be pictures from his hotel room, but bear in mind this is Twitter, so I don't know if these are true or not. You know, but of course he did have a drug problem. I think that is true. Yeah, and he'd apparently been wrecking his hotel room. These are pictures that are on Twitter. So yeah, don't take them at face value. They may not be genuine. You know, things normally come out on Twitter first, don't they? And then they come on mainstream media. It's a shame that his girlfriend went home. Maybe his girlfriend was keeping him together a little bit. Look, people are definitely getting annoyed about the music industry. Oh, let's have a look at this. Bit of a happier video of him. Nice to see him smiling. All right, let's have a look at Simon Cowell. Has he come out with anything? I'm going to put her in the bathroom because I'm. Keeps going off. So annoying. My volume and I've got the mic muted. Oh, bless me. Let me show you the chihuahua again. It's probably a good job it was muted because the dog was barking. I was just talking about Simon Cowell and his chihuahua. Oh, where's it gone? Can't find it now. Anyway, I think you saw Simon Cowell's chihuahua. Oh, God, has Dan Wootton been on saying something? Let's see. Sorry, I'm just going. Anyway, I'll be back to say more about Liam another time, definitely. I think maybe I think things might come out, mightn't they? Maybe, you know, sometimes through tragedy, people, you know, things come out. Do you think things might come out? Are people going to start saying? I'll tell you what, if people know something about Simon Cowell, if there is something to know, or anyone, I wish they would speak up. I know it's hard, especially with someone. Simon Cowell's another one, isn't he? A very powerful person. You know, he controls, you know, the ITV and the, you know, X Factor, and it's a global. Right, I'm going to have to go off in a minute because my bloody webcam just keeps going weird and turning off. yeah, he's another powerful person. He's like the Savile of his day, isn't he? Jimmy Savile. He's got the global influence of, like, Britain's got talent, but you've got America's got talent, Australia's got talent, bloody Japan's got talent, Spain's got talent. Then he's the XFactor, you know, pop idol. You know, he's massively powerful. So, you know, it'd be very difficult to go against him, wouldn't it? Be very difficult to go against Simon Cowell. Yeah, it keeps going off. It's getting on my nerves now, so I'm going to have to go. But I'll be back tonight. I will definitely be back tonight. I've got some updates on the case of the poor girl who was found in the freezer in Colorado in America. I've got some videos to show you. I've got some bits and pieces to show you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and just keeps going off. It's so irritating, this. I've got to try and do something about this. Yeah. So right at the beginning, I did light a candle for Liam, for his family, his parents, his son, just to share. I hope he's at peace now. The peace that he couldn't find in his life. Let's hope he's found it now. I hope so. Bless him. So I'll see you tonight. Thank you. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. I feel like I might have missed something here. Hang on. Oh, thank you, Nanielle, new member, and Albado, maybe a re-membership, I'm not sure, but thank you anyway. Keeps going off. It keeps going off. I'll see you soon.